stops us in our tracks. Bravely we prove in our striving, trudging together each day. Where there's a will, there's a way.
All right. Good morning, everyone. It is 11:15 and time for the daily reflections. Today we are talking about the dubious luxury of normal folk. Waiting on people. There's Jackie. All right. I'll wait too long. I was reading that you don't want to sit around and wait. And I understand that because there's a lot of times where scrolling through and I see a video and they're just sitting there with their head down, smoking a cigarette on their phones, and I'm going to last about 5 seconds. If you ain't saying something, I am moving on. So I have a feeling that was part of it. But let's get started here. If you're here, please say hello, whether you're watching the live or the rewatch. And yeah, I never know what to say after that. You'd think after 3 years I would. So, and just for a heads up for people, I am thinking about taking the week off from this, from the daily reflection. I think I need a little break. I've been doing it for 3 years straight, and I just feel like I've kind of lost my edge on it, and so I want to go do some discovery, things like that. It's going to be hard for me not to do it because I'm so used to it. So we'll see if I actually follow through on that. I usually threaten that and never follow through. So what is the dubious luxury of normal folks? Well, that would be anger, resentment, rage. Got a couple of things to read here. I'm reading from Daily Reflection, April 15th. The bondage of resentments. Harboring resentments is infinitely grave, for then we shut ourselves off from the sunlight of the Spirit. As Bill sees it, page 5. Wasn't expecting to read this one, so I didn't have it out. Why did I go all the way back just to go to page 5? Maintenance and growth. It is plain that a life which includes deep resentment only leads to futility and unhappiness. To the precise extent that we permit these, do we squander the hours that might have been worthwhile. So essentially, if we are caught up in our own brain, we are not going to be of use to anyone, because anger cannot live in the same space as serenity. Is it not hooking up over here? Okay, there we go. Facebook is now catching up. So, and yep. All right. So we were talking about anger, resentment, fun stuff. Yes, I know. But with the alcoholic, whose hope is the maintenance and growth of a spiritual experience, this business of harboring resentments is infinitely grave. So what do they mean that it's infinitely grave? It means that it will send you back to your grave. And you guys, yeah, it's unfortunate. Normal people handle these things differently than people with addiction. And that is why it's the dubious. And you'll even see a lot of what we call normies out there just full of anger, especially now that you've gotten rid of your own. You're really going to see it in other people. And I would have to say that men have the hardest time with this, especially as we move into more of an emotional sobriety type of era. We're probably going to see more and more women, because men just, here's part of the problem on that. I understand the approach but most men are not going to go for it. There has to be a different approach when it comes to men. Okay? We have to be a little bit rougher. Sorry, but that's the way it is. And that's the way it is. For when we shut ourselves off from the sunlight of the spirit, the insanity of alcohol returns, and we drink again. And with us, to drink is to die. If we were to live, we had to be free of anger. You have to be free of anger. Right? You're going to have days where you get angry, but you're going to learn how not to live in that. I was told something this last weekend. I'm surprised I didn't react. I'm very surprised I didn't react, because I would have in the past. I would have grabbed several people and went over and just beat the crap out of somebody. The grouch and rage, and here it is, the grouch and the sudden rage. So a lot of times when it comes to our anger, we feel like it's justified because somebody has done something to us. And that anger is not justifiable. Hurting other people is not justifiable, even if they have hurt me. And that's the hard part, because don't you want to retaliate? Don't you want to defend yourself? Somebody's out there talking crap about you. Don't you feel the need to defend yourself? Okay. Good. But there's a difference between defending yourself and advocating for yourself. Defending yourself is going to sound a lot more like, well, you don't know who I am, and blah, it's going to be angry, and nobody's going to want to listen to that. Right? So you have to take a different approach. Anger is the dubious luxury of normal men, but for us alcoholics, it is poison. Absolute poison. It has been said, anger is a luxury I cannot afford. Does this suggest I ignore the human emotion? Absolutely not. Anger can actually be utilized for good things. It can be a motivator to get things done. That's how it can be good. Other than that, no. Does this suggest I ignore this human emotion? I believe not. Before I learned of the AA program, I was a slave to the behavior patterns of alcoholism. I was chained to negativity with no hope of cutting loose. Isn't it so much easier to fall into negativity with other people than to stay on the sideline and maybe be positive? See, I'm the kind of person where I'm always looking for the solution. If I have a problem, there needs to be a solution, and that's what I'm looking for. I'm not going to sit in the problem. Well, sometimes the solution is letting it go for the day. Before I move on, I wanted to talk about the line of just get over it. There is no just getting over it. There is a process. And the process works. And we know the process works because it's worked for hundreds and hundreds of people. What they say in Lost Boys when he was eating the rice and I think was it Johnny says, well, a million Chinese people can't be wrong. Right? The steps offered me an alternative. Step 4 was the beginning of the end of my bondage. The process of letting go started with an inventory. So when I work with somebody, I actually start teaching them how to let go in the very beginning. Okay? And what that process looks like. And we do that intentionally, so that by the time we get to the 3rd and 4th step, we've already practiced it a little bit. I needed not be frightened, for the previous steps assured me I was not alone. My higher power led me to this door and gave me the gift of choice. Today I can choose to open the door to freedom and rejoice in the sunlight of the steps as they cleanse the spirit within me. All right. A lot of us have families, right? And I was just in a meeting, and a person was talking. They were saying that their Wife was mad at them because they felt like they were hitting too many AA meetings and they felt like that was ridiculous. So, guys out there and girls, if you have had somebody that has been taking care of your ass for years, you need to put some effort back into that. Okay? The first thing my sponsor made me do, go to your meetings. But he said, Dion, you are not to go back and apologize and do all this other stuff to your wife. What you are to do is to go in and do the dishes, clean the house, ask her what she needs to be done. See, these people have been running the household for years, and we have no right to jump back in and take the household back over. We need to ask permission. So you take care of your family first, man. You ask them what they need. Meet them where they're at. You have your support group. They don't have one. It is you. Okay? Then they have the fear of whether you're going to go out again or not. My wife had a fear. Her fear was that I was going to get sober and leave her. And those are legitimate fears. And they must be covered. Right? All right. So don't be telling your wife, no, I won't go to, it's ridiculous. Go to, no, cut back on one of your meetings. Go spend time with your fucking wife. Jesus Christ. Sorry, guys. No, I'm not. All right, guys, that's going to be it for today. I will see you tomorrow for Daily Reflections. Love you guys. Peace out and have a day.